Good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm making this live tonight. I'm going to give people a chance to come in. Um, my live is going to be about about the impeachment process because I hear there's a lot of talk about impeaching Donald Trump, impeaching him, and I was looking at the process. It's not as easy as it sounds. Because I'm going to speak on that. So I'm going to speak on that tonight, and I found some things out. It's a process. Everything is a process. Process. It's it's re- it's it's a process, and it's kind of hard to explain, but it's not hard to explain if that makes sense. If you know the routine of it, you will understand it. So I hope um, I'm going to give some people a chance to come in, and you know, and so I want to talk about that because I'm not sure, but I don't. This is my opinion. I don't know what other people will say, but I don't think Donald Trump stay 2 years. Will will stay more than 2 years. I think next year, with the midterms, I think things will change. I think things are going to change. I don't think he'll do the whole 4 years. At least I'm hoping he won't. I'll put it that way. I'm hoping that he won't do the last change, but I'm going to mute myself, give people a little chance to come up. I don't know how many people, I don't think many people know that. Oh, sorry, you can't hear me. You can't hear me because I'm sorry, I had it muted. I didn't know. I'm going to talk about the impeachment process for Donald Trump. It's because I've been hearing people call for that a lot. If you're watching and you care to, comment, please feel free. All I ask is that it's respectful, you know, that it's respectful in there. And if you, once you hear this, if you like what you hear, I'd like for you to subscribe to my channel, which is Things Worth Knowing at BBIGIRL underscore 72. And, you know, um, well, anyway, I'm going to talk about Donald Trump. Donald Trump and the um, the impeachment process. I've heard people are calling for him to be impeached and taken out of office, but I myself thought that they could do it with the military. I really thought that they were going to be able to do it with the military, but the military cannot do anything for, for the to take the president out of office. And it starts in the House of Representatives. They they impeach him. An impeachment is like an indictment that says the person, and I'm going to say president because that's who I'm talking about, has done some unethical behavior. They do that, and then it goes to the uh, it goes to the Senate. I wrote it all down. It's a process. It's a big process where it goes. After they indict him, that's when he's charged with them, and the person is charged. And I'm saying Donald Trump because that's who I'm talking about at this point. He it, it when he's impeached, because I believe he will be impeached this time. I believe they will impeach him. They will for misconduct. It's like an indictment that he's charged for misconduct. Okay, it starts in the House of Representatives. Once that's done, they set a trial. The Senate they hold a trial. Chief Justice Robert Hello, Zion. I'm talking about impeachment because I've been reading a lot of things and listening to a lot of things. People are calling for the impeachment of Donald Trump. And I just looked into the whole process of it, of what it takes to get it, to get a person impeached. And I'm saying Donald Trump because they're calling for Donald Trump to be impeached. People are calling all over the country for it at this point. And, and I was reading the process of it. And like I said, it starts in the House of Representatives. They impeach him, and the impeachment is like an indictment. And it says that he's guilty of misconduct. So they do that. Then they plan a trial in the Senate, and the Senate holds the trial, and the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, which is Chief Justice Roberts, he would preside over the trial. And now, in order for him to be taken out of office, he would have to get a 2/3 majority, which is 67 out of 100 votes for him to be convicted and removed from office. Now, and after that and then the vice president, who is Vance, would become president. And the military will not remove him, because I myself thought that the military would be able to take him out of office, but excuse me, but they won't, because they're considered civilians. They're not part of the government per se. I don't understand that. I really don't understand that part, but that's what they're saying. They won't be able to remove him from office. Now, what happens after the Senate does, if he's convicted and found guilty, they will, the Secret Service will stop protecting him and start protecting the new president, which would be Vance. And, and they won't forcibly drag him out, like they say. They won't forcibly drag him out. They, would let him leave on, think he would leave on his own. I guess it's like Richard Nixon, when Richard Nixon went through Watergate, he didn't even wait to be impeached because he knew they were going to find him guilty. So he left on his own. So there was no major thing. He packed up his bags. His family moved out. But if which I think will happen, if Donald Trump happens to be impeached, he's going to set a record for something that's never been set before. So this should be real interesting because if he doesn't leave, he will be escorted out by either the U.S. Marshals or the Secret Service or both. So this is going to be, whew, this is going to be real good. This is going to be a real good one. Is no one who has ever been impeached has refused to leave. So with Donald Trump, I think if he's impeached, he is going to, they're going to have to physically escort him out because I don't think he's going to leave on his own. So if anybody out there is listening and you care to comment, feel free to do so. It's this is water that we are treading on water that in our lifetime, in modern times, no president has ever done that. So I don't know. Like I said, if anybody cares to make a comment, pro and con, you don't have to agree with me to comment. Excuse me, that's just my assessment of what's going to happen if Donald Trump is impeached. So, I'm not really looking forward to that, looking forward to it. So what's your take on it? Do you think that, what do you think's going to happen? Do you think, does anybody who's listening, anybody out there, if anybody has a comment they'd like to make on it, if they disagree with me, I'm fine with that. Let me know. But it's people are calling for him to be impeached because he's running the country in a hole. He really is. So that's that. And the other thing I want to talk about, it's about with Donald Trump, excuse me, but it's about him not taking the guy back to the, bringing the guy back that never should have been deported, not sent to El Salvador. And he is openly defying the Supreme Court, which, whether they want to believe it or not, we are in a constitutional crisis. How this is going to turn out, I don't know. I really don't know how it's going to turn out. But we're getting ready to see stuff that I myself thought was in the olden days. So, well, I really don't know how this thing is going to turn out. So we will see. We will see. We will definitely see what's going on. You know, there's something that has to. I don't know. There's something that has to be done about Donald Trump. There's something that definitely has to be done about Donald Trump because I don't think anybody can take Donald Trump for a whole 4 years. not on this kick he's on because he's acting like a manic, um, uh, like he's a manic depressive person. He's, I don't know, he's going off the deep end. At first, I thought he was just throwing stuff out there to see if he could get away with it, but he really believes he can, and really believes he can do what he wants to do. So I don't know, folks, what is going to happen, but this should be interesting. And I hate to say it, but I think it might get uh, blood. Oof. I think that it might get bloody. So I'm not sure. But boy, oh boy, oh boy. This thing is crazy, crazy, crazy. He had the guy from El Salvador who took over the country. He had him sitting in the White House saying he wasn't going to send anybody back. And I don't know. I just don't know. You know, it's it's crazy, crazy. So Donald Trump has no regard for the rule of law. I would love to really know the type of person that Donald Trump was as a kid. What the people he knew as a young child thought of him. Was he always like this? Although I listened to his niece Mary Trump, and she said he pretty much was. But then again, people keep saying, "Oh, he took away money for funding for childhood cancer, childhood illnesses." But if you know, if you listen to listen to his niece, she has a brother who has cerebral palsy, and she said that her uncle, well, she doesn't call him her uncle. She says Donald told her father to put her brother in an institution and let him die in an institution. So if he said that about his own nephew, his own family member, I don't know why everybody is so surprised that he did, you know, that he didn't, he doesn't care about childhood illnesses or something. So weird family. I've read up on them. Kind of a weird family. But like I said, if anybody's listening and they want to see, you know, talk about have a different opinion in mind, because that's just everything I'm saying is just my opinion, except about the impeachment process, because I looked it up to see how it was going to work. Would it be immediate? Would he have to leave right away and stuff? It doesn't say anything um, about if he does get impeached and he does get convicted that he has to leave right away. So I don't know. Will he barricade himself into the White House and have a shootout? Who knows? Who knows? Because he is showing some bad signs of authoritarianism, which I've read a lot about different in history, because I'm a history buff. I love history, and I've read a lot of stuff and about it, dictators and stuff. I've read a lot of stuff on Hitler and you know Adolf Hitler and how he came to power, and actually a lot of what I read about Hitler seems like Donald Trump is trying to emulate him in his what he does. But anyway, that's I guess it is what it is. But We're on a dangerous course, I believe, in the United States now. I don't think, I never thought I would see this in my lifetime. You know, I thought dictatorships and trying to overthrow the government, I thought that was revolutionary times, you know. But it is what it is. So I'm going to end this. And thank you all who came in. So, like I said before I go, if anybody has anything they'd like to say, feel free to say it. You can come on and say it. Okay. I will be ending this live stream.